YouTube family, it's your girl Leah, back again with another video. And today's video, as you can see from the title, is another foundation review Friday. Now today's foundation was brought to me by the lovely people at Urban Decay and Octoly, and it's the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation. Now you guys have been wanting me to try this foundation for so long, and I don't know why, because it's matte and it's full coverage, two things that I'm typically not a big fan of, but we're going to review this foundation today. Now if you're not familiar with my series isn't a first impressions. Although I just took it out this box, I've kept the box all week long. I've tested this foundation out all this week, Monday through Friday, with different applicators, different primers and all that, to find out what works best with me. So my videos aren't first impressions for the most part. Another thing about me, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. But if you don't know, I list every single foundation that I've tried in this series down below and what shade I am. So make sure you check that description box if you feel like we're foundation skin twinsies out there. Now today's foundation, like I said, is the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation, and I have the shade 8.75. Now if you see me look down at any point, like I say, my foundation reviews are not first impressions, they are week-long tests of trials. So I type out all my notes on the foundation. I used to have a sheet of paper, but now Lia Lavon has gone green and I have done it electronically, because why was I printing out all my details? Now like I said, I am the shade 8.75. there are 24 shades, so a lot less than normal, 16 less than Fenty, just FYI, but there are 24 shades. There are only 5 shades darker than me. So if you see my skin tone right now, the shade 8.75, it's only 5 shades darker. It does retail for $40 online, and you do get 1 fluid ounce, which is standard with most foundations out there. Now what the site says about this, it is a full coverage matte finish waterproof foundation that lasts all night. It says always shake well before use, because all nighter foundation contains 25% pigment and provides a high level of coverage. It's important to swatch it on your skin, blend and let it dry down completely to see the true color, choosing your perfect match. If it's a toss up between 2 shades, go with the lighter one. So that's what the site says specifically. It's letting you know, make sure you test this foundation out. So I would definitely say, if you don't go off of just what I say, make sure you kind of test this foundation out for yourself to make sure it works well. But without further ado, let's just go into my application of the product right off bat. Like I say, I tested this product out all throughout the week with a sponge and a brush. I preferred the brush this week with it. I just applied a lot less of it with the brush. I could get away with 2 pumps. I needed like 3 pumps to kind of give me a whole beat face kind of thing, but today I'll be applying it with both. Also, Octoly was so amazing to pair with Yves Saint Laurent Beauty, YSL Beauty, to send me the Touche Éclat highlighter, corrector, illuminator, all that pen. Now I picked out my shade online, and when I picked it out online, I thought I was picking out a concealer shade. I am a foundation shade guru. I can pick out a foundation online. I suck at concealers, as you will see in a minute, picking them out online. So I definitely, for the most part, always pick out my concealer if it's high-end in stores. Clearly didn't do a good job on this one. So the shade that I picked out from YSL Beauty is, I'm gonna call it Luminous Amber. That's what I'm gonna call it. It has another French titled name, of course, but my American self is gonna say Luminous Amber. So this is what it looks like, and I'm gonna swatch it on me. Now you'll see what I mean when I say it's not really a highlighter illuminating shade for me. It's kind of an orange shade, but if you guys know me, I love color correcting my skin, and the color corrector I typically use a lot is the orange color corrector. As you see, I use this a lot for color correcting my skin. I also love the peach color corrector by LA Colors for the most part, and normally to get a perfect kind of shade, this is a little too orange, this is a little bit too fair for me, and I mix these together a lot of the time to come up with my perfect color correcting shade. But this shade right now is a perfect kind of combination of both these shades together. So it's kind of a orange and a peach together, creating a kind of, I don't know what you would call that, tangerine. It's a nice color correcting shade. So I will be using this today to color correct my skin. So I put the orange corrector on my face, and if you can see it, it's very luminous, and it's very much so, it's like a subtle covering of my dark spots. You can't really see them. So now I have applied it. This is what it looks like on me, on my skin. Doesn't it radiate a lot of yellowness? You're seeing probably a lot of yellow coming through right now. Don't worry, it oxidizes a wee bit. So when I come back with the rest of my face, you'll see how the level of oxidizing it does. That's why it says on the site specifically, if you're choosing between two shades, go with the lighter of the shades because it'll settle in. The site even warns you. When a site tells you, believe it. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, Urban Decay was also, once again, Urban Decay, shout out for the win in this video, was so awesome to send me the Naked Skin Concealer. Now, once again, I was terrible at picking out my own shade, but thankfully, I already own the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. I love this concealer. If you see, I'm running low on it. Let me go ahead and apply the Urban Decay Concealer and make an Urban Decay day out of it. So this is how the concealer and foundation look together. Do you not see the highlighting that's going on already? I don't have a mirror right now, so some things may be a little off as per usual. So I'm looking at my viewfinder and using that as a gauge of how this looks on me. But the lighting and the highlighting, that medium dark the concealer kind of provides, is very key. Now my skin is kind of getting to the normal level of oxidizing. I can see it as it plays out right now on camera. I can see it darkening up a wee bit. My neck is kind of matching my whole body type of thing. But I'm gonna go ahead and apply the rest of my foundation and then come back to you guys with my other thoughts on this foundation. So now I am back. I've applied the rest of my face and this is how it looks, and I think it's settled down finally to the shade that it's going to be for the rest of the day, and I think it's an amazingly perfect shade match. So if you're close to me and you think you're my foundation shade twinsy, I'd say 8.75 is our shade match, but definitely if you feel more comfortable going to the stores and testing it out, please do so, because the site itself says make sure you test out and go with the lighter shade if you're hesitant about what shade to be. Now next thing I'm going to do, Urban Decay also was so awesome. Once again, Urban Decay, this isn't sponsored by Urban Decay, but Urban Decay and Ockley were so awesome to have sent me these products. My channel is somebody who's talked about Urban Decay in the past, so I don't present things this heavy unless I really try the product. If you guys saw my recent, I guess, favorites video of the year, I showed my Urban Decay product that I've been having, but Ockley was so awesome to send me a whole nother bottle. And I guess they changed their packaging. I guess I'm still using the old version of the Urban Decay. This is a lot better. I get this one dirty a lot, but I am running low, so thank you so much for this. I'm not going to crack open the new bottle. I'm going to use my existing bottle, and this is all I use now. I used to use MAC Fix Plus. Don't use that anymore just because there's a certain level where you can't even get the product at all. I think there's like this much of MAC Fix Plus where I never can get it out the bottle no matter how much. I think I can use this all the way up to the last drop every time I use it. So yes, don't you feel that? I don't think I said it in the beginning of this video, but I typically always do, but I always assume you guys are part of the Lia Lavon family. I have dry skin, so I never set my foundations with powder, so I didn't go upstairs and put a whole bunch of powder on. All I did was contour, blush, and highlight, and that's all I do. You don't want to powder if you have dry skin. It is a very much so matte. I don't think you can even, I used 2 pumps every single day this week. Face was beat. It was so beat. It was too beat. It was almost too beat to be at work. Like at work, I like to be, you know, I'm just here, just being very demure, not trying to cause any, you know, ruffles or tiffs up in here. But I was breaking the show at work this week with this foundation on. It was super beat. And now when I go to work every morning and I test out the foundation, some days I don't wear anything else other than the foundation. I'll put the concealer on, foundation on, and I'll go out the door. But when I put this foundation on every single day, I felt that I needed to do more in terms of my face. I felt like I needed to contour, I needed to highlight, I needed to blush a little bit just because the foundation was just so, you guys saw it a minute ago without anything else on. It feels like it deserves a little bit more product to be put on your face. So I'd say definitely get a pro on my end with that. I know I just did a whole spiel, but I will come back at the end of the day with my full and final thoughts, whether I would repurchase it and all that. So stay tuned to see me in a few hours and see my final thoughts on this foundation. So stay tuned. So now I am back. It has been exactly 6 hours of wear with this foundation. I put it on around 10 a.m. It is now 4 p.m. So I am about to lose natural sunlight, and you know how I am. If you see any of my videos, I am a girl about natural sunlight. I need to get it in because I want you guys to have a fair and, you know, kind of real life representation of how the foundation works. So this is how it looks. I look pretty much the same. I did take my eyelashes off because today has just been all over the place. Today, them lashes did not want to stay on. My lippy is kind of gone, but otherwise everything else kind of still there. First things first, I want to address, if you guys notice a little bit, foundation's a little bit darker. It's oxidized a lot. So I need people to be aware foundation does oxidize. I love how the brand says, you know, go one shade lighter. I think I almost felt I might have should have gone maybe 2 shades lighter. I thought I was going lighter by choosing 8.75. I looked at a YouTuber on here. Her name is Samantha Jane. She has a review on this foundation. I like her videos, not because we have the same skin type. She has oily skin, but sometimes I like her foundation matches. I know to always go one shade up from her in my normal foundations. I just watched hers today. I never watched foundation reviews prior, but I watched it today to see what shade she actually went with. She went with 8 on this foundation, and she said she could have gone a little bit lower. She could have gone to a 7.75, I think. So that made me believe maybe I should have gotten an 8. And it would have oxidized. It is winter right now as I'm filming this as well. It would have oxidized so that it would have matched my neck a little bit better. I didn't recognize how much it oxidized until today, only because Monday through Friday when I'm wearing the foundation, I'm wearing long sleeves. This is the middle of winter. So I put my clothes on first and then I do my foundation. And I've been wearing a lot of turtlenecks, a lot of scarves, a lot of big coats, because winter wanted to come and play games with us this week. It wanted to snow this week. So I've been really bundled. And today's the first day that I've kind of been wearing some different things, some low cut things. I did a try on haul video today that I filmed, and I was taking my shirt off a lot, and I was like, what's going on here? What's this oxidation? So be aware that foundation definitely does oxidize. So I'd say go one lower. Probably should have gotten an 8 and seen how much that oxidized on me. But other than that, as a dry skin person, my opinion on this, I think this is an amazing foundation if you want a full coverage and you want a matte finish. Now, I did my Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation review, and I like that foundation, but in that video I said it might have been too much a little bit for a dry skin person. It was a kind of powder finish. This is matte but without being a powder finish, if that makes sense. I don't feel like, just like the MAC Studio Fix Fluid foundation that I just reviewed, I said that was a powder finish too. I'm not a big huge fan of a powder finish for a dry skin person. That's just me though. Estee Lauder Double Wear is many oily skin person's fan. There's that dream foundation. I sometimes do want a full coverage and matte finish, especially when I'm filming and things like that. So I think this is what I would reach for over the Estee Lauder Double Wear. My personal preference on that. Now, like I said, I did a try on haul video today. I actually filmed it yesterday, and then I did some pickup shots today. In terms of transfer resistant, I think that's something that this foundation claims to be, and I did a lot of pulling clothes over my head. I did definitely see a little bit of transfer. I don't give it the transfer, like the Estee Lauder Double Wear didn't transfer on me at all. Love that foundation. I was like, yes, honey, if I'm going to a wedding, going to a reunion, I'm gonna do a lot of hugs, that's the foundation I'm gonna choose. This one I did notice a lot of transfer, especially pulling things over my head and all of that. So definitely wouldn't say it's not transfer resistant. Definitely has some transferability of this foundation. Definitely have to blend it out fast. Like I said, not lightweight at all, but what would you expect a full coverage matte foundation to be? I wouldn't expect it to be the lightest of weight foundation. A little bit goes a long way. That's one thing I would say about this foundation. So I can see me reusing this over and over again and getting a lot of use out of it. I think color shade rise, although it may not be my winter shade, I'm gonna be this shade again in a few more months. Give me until March. I feel like a beach trip is in my purview. I see it in the future. So it's coming around the corner. So I think I'm probably gonna be this shade again, this exact shade, although, you know, my neck is going through some things. My whole body will come together at some point. So I think shade rise, I can see it being used. I don't think 8 on me, although like I said, I watched Samantha Jane's video, 8 looked perfect on her. I don't know. It looked a little bit too light. I don't know. I have to look online. I don't know if they have a shade in between 8 and 8.75. I would hope they did, but if they do, that probably is me. but 8 just looked a little bit too light. Shade Range though gets a thumbs down on me. I wish y'all had more. Urban Decay, make a little bit more. I know y'all can do it. The Naked Skin foundation is a foundation they also make, and nobody has ever requested me to do a Naked Skin foundation review. If you want to see me do Naked Skin by Urban Decay, leave it down below. I don't know what kind of finish that promise or what kind of coverage that promises, but I do want to try more Urban Decay products. I really have enjoyed this, and it definitely gets a thumbs up, and I definitely can see myself repurchasing it. If I repurchase it, definitely got to be in a different shade. But yes, Urban Decay has always been one of my faves. If you guys don't know, I have so many Urban Decay palettes. I got the Naked, I got the original Naked, and I go through this bad boy. So Urban Decay is a brand that's outside of my heart. I love them for their concealer. I love them for their eyeshadows. And now I think I love them for their foundation. So thank you guys so much for the recommend on this. I definitely enjoy it. Thank you so much, Urban Decay, for sending me this foundation, that concealer, the setting spray, and all that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below your thoughts on this foundation. If you've actually bought it and purchased it. If you guys think that you guys know a shade that I should have got. If you guys are thrown off a little bit by this oxidizing, let me know all your thoughts down below. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Lia Lavon 89. Make sure you're following me on Snapchat at Miss Lia 89. I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.